The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
It's time to get weird on Wednesday. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. Unless, of course, you're listening to this on like a Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, then we get weird on those days too. But so today we are talking about a Goatman.
Oh, no.
And JP, this is actually, we would like to give away specific location, but we are in Virginia. And this is not too far from us. This is a legend in Maryland, I believe, correct?
Yeah, Prince George's County, Maryland, which is it's a neighboring state. It's on our border, which makes me all the more nervous.
Yeah, you're nervous.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous the Goatman is going to make his way here?
Yes, we have abundant woods and hunting ground for the Goatman.
Now, this Goatman, of course, is a legend that's been passed from generation to generation to generation, as the police have been known to say. And we got most of our info from the Washingtonian, which is...
Oh, I love that publication.
Which is as JP said, it's a publication. We were reading it online. But but there are some interesting key witnesses and testimony on this that JP you find pretty compelling. But this Goatman is unlike it decapitates dogs.
It does, man.
And when you mess with dogs, you're automatically on my list. You know what I'm saying? Like, this Goatman's going to die if I ever cross paths with him. You decapitate dogs, take cats. Take birds, anything but dogs. No, don't decapitate any animals. None. But especially not dogs.
Yeah, and not only that, it terrorizes moonlit lovers. You know, you can be getting frisky with your gal in the back seat of your Camaro, and next thing you know, the Goatman's knocking on the window and trying to cut your wiener off or something.
Really?
Oh, I don't know if he does that specifically, but he does terrorize moonlit lovers out doing their thing, you know.
So there have been instances of people, the classic horror story cliche, like they're parking the car, they're getting a little frisky up on the hill, and next thing you know, there's a Goatman outside your vehicle.
There's a Goatman sniffing around. A lot of people say he's drawn to the smell of the coitus.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you hear that about bears and stuff as well, and jungle cats.
That's what they say, that the Goatman may be attracted to the smell of sexual activity.
Yes, of stuff bumping and grinding and the fluids, and that'll draw him out, and yeah, he'll feast on your innards.
Oh my gosh.
I know, the Goatman is horrid. It's horrid, and the thing is, we don't know if he's a product of nature. We don't know if it's a supernatural thing. We don't know if it's a government experiment gone horribly wrong. And that's what's most frightening. Maybe a combination of all three, perhaps.
I always wonder, because now I actually have heard a few supposed encounters through the years, because I love to find like these paranormal channels on YouTube and listen to like supposedly true scary stories, and like I've definitely heard a couple of a Goatman, and believe it or not, they're some of the scariest ones I've heard.
Yeah.
But they've even actually, some folks have blamed the Beltsville Research Agricultural Center, the USDA facility. They actually had to deny the
I don't believe him for a second.
So you think that's where it came from?
I think that plays a part in it. I think there was a pre-existing Goatman, and unlike a lot of folklore where they talk about a goat herder who had his teenagers slaughtered his goats, and he finds his goats dead and goes crazy, and a lot of that's where the story of the Goatman terrorizing love-struck teenagers comes from. But I don't think it was a goat herder that went mad and started killing teenagers and puppy dogs. I think this was a cryptid that the government captured one and started tweaking with and turned it into a crazed thing.
I just don't like that it decapitates dogs.
I don't either, man. But there are accounts of that. That's really the most telling evidence is it brutalizing, mutilating people's dogs. There's a lot of urban legends and tall tales, but the actual eyewitness accounts come more or less from it, hacking up people's dogs.
And it's difficult to say how much of it's, true eyewitness account and how much of it is just folklore, because they even are reported to say things in the area of like, if you act up, we're going to leave you in Fletchertown on Fletchertown Road, and the Goatman's going to get you.
Yeah.
It's so it's akin to things like the what is that Mexican La Llorona or whatever, just something that some people, a supernatural urban legend told to make kids behave.
Yeah.
But, sometimes I wonder, all right, so let's bring it full circle here. Do you remember what one of our first first Weird Wednesdays was? I don't know if it's very first, but it was one of the, it's one of our most interesting that we enjoy the most, I think.
I don't know. The Skinwalker?
Yes.
Okay.
I knew you knew. Do you think that there could be any correlation between skinwalkers and like goatmen? I mean, half human, half goat. I mean, what if this is just a skinwalker and its preferred shape to take is a goat?
It very well could be, sure. Very well could be.
Because goats are fun, cute little animals, but man, there are some that are terrifying. Like, I don't know if you ever saw that movie Witch.
I don't remember.
But they had the black goat, which was basically the devil.
Yeah.
And it was just something about that goat was terrifying. Just like dead eyes, They have those rectangular pupils. And I don't know, man. The thought of a goat man is pretty terrifying. I don't know why. You would think like a wolf human hybrid or a coyote human hybrid would be scarier. But something about the thought of a goat.
Well, for one thing, a goat can eat anything, so it won't think twice about biting your toe off. Who knows?
And it has flat teeth too, so I'm sure that'd be a painful way to get eaten.
God.
You know what I'm saying? At least like a wolf or a coyote has them sharp teeth, which I'm sure hurt plenty bad. But I mean, at least they do the job. Whereas these teeth aren't genuinely made to eat raw meat, and it'd be like, ugh. But yeah, so I mean, do you think that there could be? You think that could be a possible explanation if there's any credence to this probably made up being?
No, I think that the Goatman is out there. I think it very well could have some correlation with the Skinwalker. But man, this one firsthand account in the article, and I'll pull it straight from the article. This fella up there in Maryland was writing a book about the Goatman and writing articles, and this dude, John Hayden, said that him and others saw the animal one night. It was about 6 feet tall, walked on 2 feet. It was hairy. And April Edwards, this dog that went missing's owner, said that, reporters and everything came out there. And, her and everyone who had seen it, they made them look like hillbillies. But she found her dog minus its head and another person who has actually seen the hairy, smelly Goatman.
So he is just a common theme with some of these creatures, like the Sasquatch and what was the one we did in Louisiana? What was that?
Oh gosh,
what creature was that?
Okay, no, it was like the something swamp monster. Or something.
Yeah,
the name of a certain swamp.
The honey something
like that. Yeah.
We've done so many of these; it's hard to keep up with them. You can see which ones leave less of an impact on us than others.
Yeah, that's true.
But that creature was reported to be really smelly too, right? I mean, that's kind of a common theme with some of these cryptids is terrible BO.
Yeah, and that's another thing from folklore. A lot of people think that these cryptids were people who were cursed, whether by evil spirits or the devil. And one of the things is they're cursed to live a life of loneliness, and a big part of that is this awful odor they emit. Which I would think you're going to be pretty lonely anyway if you're this grotesque-looking monkey man. Yeah,
I mean, I don't think many people. Was that what the thing was? Was it like an ape hybrid or something in the?
Yeah, well, the one from Louisiana, they were saying it was like a orangutan or a gorilla or something escaped from a train that was headed for a zoo and had sex with an alligator.
That's it.
Like
okay, yes.
Reptilian primate hybrid.
That's it. Okay.
Can you imagine trying to have sex with an alligator?
Especially if they start doing those barrel rolls.
Oh, my God.
But anyways, enough of the bestiality, which is probably, I'm sure, does anybody think that this creature was born of bestiality?
I mean, it's possible. Maybe a goat herder, did it enough, dropped enough seed to create a hybrid.
Just was like, damn, goat, I like the way you shake that ass when you walk.
Yeah.
It gets lonely out here in these here fields.
And that could be where that research facility came into play. They could have been trying to create a hybrid, you know?
Well, it's like the Russians tried to create like ape-human super soldiers. And I get that. Gorillas are strong as crap. They're strong. They're I don't want to use the word durable. What's the word I'm looking for? They are durable. They're tough, So I get that. And I get, like, what's the benefit of combining with a goat? Like, what would be the benefit to combine human-goat DNA? Like, yay, we can eat anything now. Or do you think it was just for the heck of it? Just seeing what could and couldn't be done.
I have a feeling the military was involved. It was probably had some kind of weapons application.
We've weaponized human-goat hybrids. Now they're going to run on 2 legs and headbutt you really hard.
Yeah, you got the headbutt. Again, if they're out in the field with little to no food, they can survive on nearly anything.
Now, how would a goat man go about decapitating a dog, though?
I think it just quite literally rips its head from its body.
Think so?
Kind of like, yeah. I think that's basically how it does it.
Ow.
Yeah, it's grotesque, man. I don't like to think about it, but if we don't warn people, we're at fault the next time it happens. You know what I mean?
It is a strange world that we live in, huh?
Yeah, it really is. Goat men and dog men and skunk apes and God knows what else. The only one I trust is the Sasquatch, but the other ones are just dark forces at work.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. To me, we love to kind of discuss because we both tend to be pretty skeptical when it comes to paranormal entities like ghosts and poltergeists. Not saying we don't believe in them or believe that they could be real. Just saying that we're open to it. We just think a lot of times things are over exaggerated or completely made up or misunderstood. I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to a lot of cryptids. Now, JP, I think you are a little bit more on the believing side when it comes to a lot of these cryptids, correct?
Yeah, I do believe that some of these things have survived over the eons, and there is a small population out there.
So if the Goatman is real,
yeah,
what is it that you think is responsible? Are you sticking with human genetic? Because how far, do you know how far back this legend goes?
Well, it really came to prominence in the 1970s is when it really hit the mainstream.
Okay, so this isn't like because I was gonna say if it was like if it had been going since medieval times or like colonial times or something. Well, I mean there really wasn't much DNA manipulation that we know of in those times, unless you want to count like a wizard or a sorcerer or something. But so this is a fairly recent thing. This is not something that's just been told for hundreds of years in this area.
Well, like I said, certain accounts going further back may be relatable to skinwalkers. So,
yeah, I think it's just folklore. I think it's just completely made up.
Something ripped off Ginger's head.
And that was that the dog's name?
That was the dog's name. Something ripped off Ginger's head.
R.I.P. Ginger.
Until we get justice for Ginger, I can't let this go, man.
That's I appreciate I know you are as well as a big time dog lover. I mean I love my dog so much. I would be lost without him.
Oh my God!
What?
I've just pulled up some more even startling revelations. The Goatman wields an axe.
What?
Assuming it's not a cryptid, it's a axe-wielding half-man, half-goat creature that was once a scientist who worked in the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center, like you said earlier. So there's says they were experimenting on goats until one experiment backfired, and this scientist was mutated, becoming goat-like himself. He then began attacking cars with an axe, roaming the back roads of Beltsville, Maryland. A variation of the legend tells of the Goatman as an old hermit who lives in the woods, seen walking alone at night along Fletchertown Road. Now, this is coming straight off Wikipedia. But 1971 when the death of a dog was blamed on the Goatman is when it really went crazy. But no, I think there's a lot of credence to that. Now that I know that it's wielding an axe, I'm even more scared.
So which half is the human, which half is the goat?
The top half is the goat, and the lower half does have hooves, but the torso looks human, and the buttocks looks human, and very powerful calves and thighs.
I'm having a really hard time picturing that.
But it does have arms and hands, hence the axe wielding.
And so the axe just makes you believe in it even more.
Yeah, it does. So it didn't just rip this dog's head off; it cut it off with an axe.
So what do you think? He's just mad? How long will he live? I mean, if it's been going on that long, did the goat mutation give him longer life?
Well, you probably multiply the lifespan of a human times the lifespan of a goat, and that's how long the Goatman will walk the earth.
I don't think that's how it works.
Oh my God, dude!
I'm looking up images of this here Goatman, and your description is a little off. It almost looks like a Sasquatch with a goat head.
I don't know, dude. I don't know about that.
I mean, it's interesting. Is it toting an axe? I don't see it toting an axe in this supposed shot, but that is I'm not gonna lie, man, if I saw that strolling through the woods, to me that looks like it would be more of a skinwalker. That looks to me, instead of that looks much more. Now, yeah, there's someone who drew a picture of the Goatman with an axe, but yeah, if that picture, which is most likely faked, but if it is a legitimate picture, I would absolutely crap my pants if I was like in the woods and saw that thing coming at me.
Oh,
are you seeing a picture of it?
Yeah, I've seen that image as well, and it looks. Oh God, dude!
I would be tempted to say, let's take a trip. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever get to do it. I mean, that's why if we get more patrons, we could start making a living off podcasting. We could do stuff like this. Unfortunately, real world jobs kind of get in the way of that. But I would absolutely love to go investigate stuff like this, man.
Oh, I wanna put this thing down. A lot of cryptids, I think, should be left to exist, but no, this is a monstrosity of science turned against nature.
Oh well, it decapitated the dog, so put that bastard down.
Yeah, and perhaps next go round we'll investigate the Poplick monster out of Kentucky, which is another Goatman-like creature.
Yeah, the picture I'm seeing, though most likely fake, it definitely to me gives off more Skinwalker vibes than it does like genetic experiment gone wrong.
That one?
No, that's not. That's fake. I've seen that. That's not exclusive to Florida. That's been on tons of other stuff. No, this is the one I'm seeing that's supposedly a real photo.
Oh,
this will be the one I've attached. You're probably looking at on the screen now. If you're listening on YouTube, if not, just Google it. It's a convincing picture. It's not. There's one of a Goatman caught on a trail cam that's reaching. That's very obviously computer animated. But this other one of him walking through the woods, that's pretty legit. I mean, granted, I'm sure it's still fake, but man,
I'm not so sure, dude.
I don't know. I still think that it's fake. Like somebody took a stuffed goat head and put it on top of a Sasquatch suit and went walking through the woods. And you could get a gorilla suit, a Sasquatch suit, whatever you want to call it, and then just get you find someone who has a stuffed goat's head, stick it on, and go walk around.
I don't know.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's eerie though, man. I'll give it that. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, then you are seeing that. If you are listening on SoundCloud or iTunes or Spotify, it should be the picture attached with this podcast.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I would love to go check that out. So apparently there are more than one Goatman in different areas.
Yeah. Perhaps next time we'll investigate the Poplick Goatman out of Kentucky.
If you know anything about the Goatman, please leave it in the comments below because it's interesting. I mean, I've heard some stories of people's encounters with Goatmen from I don't know if they were in Maryland or not, to be honest. But one or two of them I heard was absolutely terrifying. It was on one of those YouTube channels like What Lurks Above or Darkness Prevails or Lazy Masquerade. One of those channels I've heard one on that really kind of gave me goosebumps. It was just freaky. But I stay safe out there. You never know what's trouncing through the woods.
God.
What would you do, JP? Now, we also do ghost reaction videos. So if you get a chance, check that out. And of course, that's only on YouTube. But check out our Podcasting Dead YouTube channel. And you can find we've done a couple of ghost reaction videos. And JP, you were talking a big game on the last one about how you wouldn't be scared of that ghost and all of that. Now, what would you do if you were in the woods and this goat man that you saw in that last image walked up on you? What would you do? Would you be afraid of that?
A goat man would be a little bit of a different story. I mean, we're talking about getting my head chopped off with an axe. So I'd be much more combative. You see what I mean?
Well, I probably wouldn't go trouncing through strange woods without packing a little heat, so hopefully that would give me a little edge. Do you think it's impervious to damage?
I don't think it's impervious, but I think it's built pretty darn tough. I mean, I think that was a big reason for these experiments that mutated this poor scientist into the goat man, but he shouldn't have been tampering with that kind of technology.
The reports of the sounds, of course, it makes goat sounds. JP, do an impression of a goat sound real quick.
Okay. Walla.
Is that how your goat? I know what you're going for, but that if you ever own a goat and it sounds like that, definitely have it looked at. I don't know if it's supposed to sound exactly like that. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking of the silly ones in the videos that are like, la, 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 la.
Sometimes they're like that.
But it also is reported to make these like high-pitched like squealing noises and stuff, and that's freaky.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Wouldn't it be wild if the goat man, the dog man, because the dog man is a little different. We've discussed dog. Did we?
Yeah.
I know we wanted to, and then it was kind of hard to find articles, and then we started finding a ton of articles. But, we've talked to, other people about it, and some have suggested that the dog men are in the same category as like the Sasquatch. And what if the goat man is in the same category?
I mean, it could be, but I think this one's a abomination created
that needs to be put down. I think I think you're like me. The second you read that it decapitated the dog, you were like, it's got to die.
Yeah. Because it doesn't sound like it did it just for nourishment. It sounds like it did it for evil.
What if it only eats the brains? Like, what if maybe that's why it does it?
I think it's evil. It's an evil, mad scientist that did something he should have never done.
I think it's just an urban legend / hoax. But at the end of the day, there is a lot out there that you really just can't explain. So it's definitely possible. I keep an open mind to it. My instinct says it's a hoax, but I'm not going to 100% write it off.
Trust me, it's real.
Well, can we go hunt the goat man?
Yeah.
All right, let's go hunt the goat man.
All right.
Right now.
Oh,
to hell with jobs, making money.
Well, I mean, lives are at stake.
So you think the owner of our company will understand?
Send him an email with this story.
Sorry, got to leave work early. Hunting the goat man this evening.
Yeah.
# you're welcome. But please let us know. This was interesting. This was a little impromptu. So if the presentation wasn't quite up to par with other channels, we do apologize. But we are too. One thing to keep in mind, if you're new to this channel, if you just found us on the internet, we are not a presentation channel. We are more of a discussion channel. We like to take things and just talk about them more so than, there's plenty of awesome channels out there that do great presentations to give you the full backstory and just really set the tone. And definitely check those out. But with that said, the goat man, real, fake? If it is real, what is it? Does anybody out there listening have any experience with the goat man? We would love to have you on the podcast to talk about that experience.
Please.
let's keep the conversation going. Otherwise, we'll see. We'll have another Weird Wednesday next Wednesday where we'll discuss something paranormal and or conspiracy. We'll probably have another ghost reaction video at some point this week. Also, don't forget to head over to our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you get 8 extra podcasts, which can go all over the place. Those are much more free-form podcasts. We just kind of talk about whatever, and it can go paranormal. It can go to what we're going to be drinking this week. Who knows? It just goes all over the place. So definitely check that out, and please consider subscribing. If you like podcasts, we've got you covered with a wide array of different ones. In the meantime, this is like the second podcast we've done today, so I'm sure you can tell we're kind of getting tired.
Yeah.
And we got to get back to work. But we love you, we appreciate you, and we will hopefully see you again soon. Stay safe out there. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. Do the goat noise one more time. That's not the goat noise. If I hear that coming through the woods, I'm going to shit my pants.
Shit my pants.